All right, you're welcome to Good Morning, Anambra Show. It's a beautiful day, Monday, the 10th day of June 2024. And we're so delighted to be here this morning. In the studio, I have two gentle ladies, youths at heart and youth physically, to look into what we've got today. Chisom Augusta Ukora is a youth focal point, Anambra State Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative. Chisom, we are glad to welcome you to the studios of Good Morning Anambra Show today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We also have Ifunanya Jessica Okoye, social justice advocate. Ifunanya, welcome to the studio. Thank you. All right, and they are here to talk about future leaders, the youth in governance, getting them involved. I know that over time we've talked about how the youth will get integrated into the leadership of this society. It's high time, because when you look at other countries of the world, apart from Africa, you can see that so many youths are in positions of authority today, even to the level of presidency. So Nigeria cannot be an exception to that. Now, this morning, I have these young ones, and they are going to tell us actually what they are doing with themselves and, of course, other youths, to see that they are in positions where they are supposed to be. Now, Chisom, tell us about your Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative. What actually are you people doing in that place?
Just like the name implies, Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative is an NGO, non-governmental organization that seeks to empower youth in governance. We're talking about youth in governance. People think we want to bring youth into politics. No, we're just there to make sure that youths are adequately involved, and both in decision-making processes and in everything thereon. So the organization is basically there to empower youth in governance, to make sure that youth are not sidelined. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, what are you guys doing in your own social justice advocate?
Well, as a social justice advocate, we are there to advocate for the justice of the youth, and then the way we can actually help in governance. Being able to harness the potentials of these youths for them to be included in governance. For example, those who don't have mentorship, those who don't have the funds, we can actually pair them with mentors who are already there to help them get into governance, and then work with these people, train under them, for them to be equipped, so that whenever the opportunities or the room for opportunities comes out, we can be able to pick them and then add them in the room for governance.
All right, now we know the situation of Nigeria over the years, and we knew actually, if maybe we are not born then, but we read about how they got to their positions. The first time some of them became leaders in a country, somewhere in their early 20s, somewhere in their early 30s and late 20s or thereabouts. I don't think any of them was up to 40 when they first became leaders. But today you see a situation where leaders keep recycling themselves. Some of them have been there over time. Some of them are 90, 80, 70, and they are still there. Do you think we are going to actualize youths in leadership positions in this nation with the way these people are going?
No, actually, with the way the things are currently, I don't think we're going to actualize that, because there is no how this is going to be here and you want to put another thing there, and the thing you're not able to remove this from here. So for us to actualize that, we have to be able to remove these leaders and then change them with the youth. But then again, you can't just put youth there just because they are youth. They need to be educated, they need to be enlightened on what governance is, right? So that is what we are doing. We are here to educate the youth, empower them, to make them know that, these decisions that these people in power are making actually affect us. Most times in a bad way, most times in a good way. Yeah, so we're there to empower them, to tell them, okay, these are ways you can go so that you can be able to achieve this this particular thing. And again, we're not only advocating, we're not only enlightening the youth, we're also enlightening both the people, the old people, quote unquote, the old people in power, to educate them also on the importance of involving the youth in decision making.
Or allowing them to be there for once?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you say?
I don't know. Maybe, okay, maybe you people can help plead with them as youth to to try these youth for once and see how it goes, or let's see what comes out of it.
Exactly. Okay, yeah, that's true, right? That's true. Then if they can, if maybe anything comes out, they can just be like, how do I put it? Will I say somebody you can go to for advice? You understand that we all have those persons. We go, okay, I'm at a block road, please, what can I do? Do you understand? It doesn't mean that the youth are not, it doesn't mean that they are still in power. It means that, oh, the youth are on the front line. The youth are in the front. They're the ones taking charge. It's just that because we are still young, there are things we can't experience, we don't know of, that they know. So what I'm suggesting is that they allow us, they give us the space, they give us the opportunity, and then they are there to guide us. Because we don't know yet. They have been there, right? So the best thing they can do for us is just to allow us. And then
there will always be a first time to everything.
Exactly.
The person is not perfect. I mean, to some extent, working with an older person.
It's just like when you want to go and search for a job, they tell you 15 years experience. There should be always a first time.
There should be an entry level.
Yes. Okay. Now, Ifunanya, I don't know, when we talk about youth, who actually is a youth in this country?
Well, according to the Nigerian Constitution, a youth is somebody that is from ages of 18 to 35. But in a literal context, we know that a youth is anybody who is still strong. Let us just adjust it to the ages of 50. Anybody who is still strong, that can be able to do things, be innovative, bring out fresh ideas, and not being shrouded by a particular thing, maybe the old age disease and the rest of them. So let's just adjust it to 50 years. At least it should be
according to
theory, it should be to 50 years, because I believe that someone who is 50
and strong
is energetic. So let's adjust it to 50.
Okay. All right. Now, I don't know. Nigeria as a country, we have seen a lot of NGOs come to advocate for youth in leadership. We've seen a lot of even. There's a government in place now in Anambra State, so much interested in the youth. And I don't know whether that is a step in the right direction, or does it really bind with what your views or your ideas about what you are doing currently?
Yeah, it actually does, right? You know what this is? Youth don't just come in power. You don't expect us to just come in. Do you understand? We start somewhere. Do you get? We start somewhere. And then by starting that somewhere, maybe that is what, let's say, the current governor is doing. They empower the youth. And then when the time comes, the youth take over. So this empowerment now comes in different forms. Maybe digital, maybe leadership empowerment, maybe giving them positions, appointments. Okay, you can take this and then you can learn from here. But then, in actual sense, I'm just being honest, right? In actual sense, the youth there in that particular position don't see it as an avenue to build themselves. They see it as an avenue to make money and then, I don't know, carry themselves around, parade themselves. But to me, I feel like that is not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an avenue to build yourself for the greater good. It's supposed to be an avenue for you to empower yourself so that tomorrow, if anything should come, don't get me wrong, there are some youth that have been in power, that have, just like Deputy Governor. There was a time he was once, and is it SSA or OSA? But look now, so I feel like these things can actually be achieved. It can actually be achieved. The current people in government should be able to empower the youth, involve us in decision-making processes, involve us. As little as an appointment is okay. Then with the appointment, they should be able to checkmate what those youths that they put in those power are doing with that appointment, to know whether they're actually making use of it to profit themselves and their community. Because what all this is entails about is, if the youth is to build herself or himself, he can be able to help those or where he came from. Or the way he came from now does not mean his village people. It just means his community, people around him, can be able to help them. But when the youth is there to just for the name and for the money, you see that we're not doing anything. So the current government is actually trying. I've seen quite a lot of appointment he has given. It's not only for the youth there to use the appointment to empower themselves for maybe tomorrow. Because
all right, now there's something that you said actually about, which is a fact, you know, that some youths are there to make the money. Now, that calls for the next question I'm about to ask, how we are going to build passion, because there is a difference between passion and what you stand there to gain. You can't just blame these youth, because the aim thing now in the society is how much you have, how much money you have. And every youth is counting, no matter anyhow to make it, to get money. That's what people are looking for. Now, what do you think, or in what ways do you think, you know, we can build passion around this youth?
Well, first of all, for every youth who wants to go into leadership, I don't want to use politics, because it's one thing to be a politician and it's another thing to be a leader. For every youth who wants to go into leadership, that passion must be there. If it's not there, you would find out that it will be difficult to the person to actually lead. Now, first of all, for us to get these good people, for us to include them in the government without them just going there to fight for their own or look for their own, you see that just like the current governor is doing, after the last appointment of the TC chairman, I think he had to remove some. He told them to hand over, and then while he brought about some, I think he reinstated the TC chairman of Agwata. Okay. And that is a very nice one, because he saw the passion in the young man. He saw that the young man was ready to work, and he actually empowered him to do more. So by giving him another chance to continue, you see that you don't give them the power and then sit back. You give them the power and then checkmate them. Exactly. From time to time. Nobody in Anambra State did not hear of the exploits of. Sometimes I wish that
I was even amongst the people saying, I hope they are going to bring him back.
Because he did quite well.
And
not just him. Okay, now the current MD of AXA, I think he's doing well too, because if you watch his recent highlights from the last shop opening at Abattoir Street, I mean, that was a very nice, innovative idea. Down to the lady who brought about the solution innovative district. These are innovations, and because the governor has put them on their toes, they have to work. Because if you don't work, they don't bring you back the second time. Now, there must be a first time. So you, as the person who is there already, as the older person with older experience, the best thing you can do is to checkmate these people, put them on their toes.
Exactly.
In this appointment, or because it doesn't start with entering the mainstream politics. It can start with appointments, it can start with members of advisory board. And if you notice, this extends through the other commissioners who are part of the Anambra State government. You see that these people, they actually want to do more. They want to show that they are working, and not just because of the money. So these things can actually be put in check for them to be checkmated. I believe with this, it's a one step ahead. We can actually get...
Okay, trying them out actually tells you how passionate they are.
Yes.
Then for people that are there, how do we really let them know that there is need for passion for you to be able to handle any position?
You know, I feel like you should be able to... Passion, it's true, passion can be built, maybe natural, you understand? And then it can be, let's say, grown, I don't know. But I feel like you should be able to tell them, oh, this is what we are currently facing. Do you understand? Person may not really grow a passion for helping the whole community, but then, okay, you figure, oh, this community needs this, so this community needs that. So I'm just giving an instance. Okay. This community needs this, community needs that, and then you have to be able to educate them on the need. If you in this particular position, if you do not do this, this community is going to quote and unquote die. You understand? So I feel like in that way, it may bring up even if it's a tiny sense of compassion. Do Do you understand? And that is the only thing we need. We don't need much. We don't need plenty. We don't need a whole lot of passion or compassion. We just need tiny. And with that tiny, we can be able to do many things. So we can be able to build the youth. If as little as mustard seed, that's how the Bible said it. As little as mustard seed, we can be able to, if we get little from any youth, we can be able to work with that. And then you can see them doing so many things.
All right. Now, in a bid not to actually frustrate these young ones, like we said earlier that the elderly ones keep recycling them. No thanks to the government of Anambra State that have really brought them closer. What do you think could be done to see that these young ones are not frustrated? Let me give you an example of what I want you to answer. Now, when you know the situation with government proposals, or sometimes you want to call youth from the hinterland to come up to take up some things, sometimes you see people trying to get people they know to come and do it, not really throwing it open to so many youths that may have the gift and be there, So what do you think could be done so that when a call is made for youth to come out, it will not be who I know or who I do not know? I hope you understand.
Exactly.
So how do you think we can go about it? Because looking at what is happening already in Anambra State, how do you think we can do it so that it will not be a situation of who knows who in the state, so that our youth will not actually be frustrated? Because we have some hidden talent somewhere.
In the youth.
All right.
Yeah. Do you want to go?
Okay, well, one thing is natural. Everybody in this life, the human body is selfish.
Okay.
The human body goes for what will benefit him or her. But I think at this point, as leaders, we should know that. That's why I emphasize on leaders. I don't emphasize on politics. As leaders, we should be able to know when to keep up our selfish nature and be able to accommodate others, because we really want things to work in the country. So my advice to every youth out there who is going into leadership positions, whether in Anambra State or in the nation, because this is a one step for us, is to make sure that he or she leads well and opens up opportunities for other youths. Because if you don't do that, you find out that these old men will keep recycling these things, because they will feel like, okay, the ones I gave to this person, what did he or she do? He only opened up for his people and the rest of them. So I think they should be able to know when to cut off the selfish nature and then be able to lead well and open up opportunities for other youths, even if it doesn't necessarily benefit their own persons, but then to some extent it benefits the hidden potentials which we don't even know they exist out there. So for every youth who is in governance, I feel they owe us a responsibility to do well and not be selfish, because once they are able to do well, you find out that it opens up more doors for more youths to come into governance and into leadership. So I think that itself is a one step ahead. We need to talk to ourselves first before talking about implementing other policies that would make it okay for those in governance or power to be able to encompass other youths. But we as youth, it should start from us. Wherever position we find ourselves, even down to the least church positions, because these things also happen in the churches. Down to the least church position, you find out that there are sometimes they bring call for opportunities for the youth. The least young president or the least youth president or youth leader would want, okay, bring this person, this is my brother, bring this person, not opening it up. So I believe if this thing should start from us, these people at the top would see that, okay, deep down, these people really want to make things work. They really want to push or establish the fact that they are the future leaders of this country and they want to make things work. So I think it should start from us first before we talk about policy implementation. All right,
Chisom, you have something to add to
that? I want to bring something into our mind. When the current governor came into power, that's this thing he did. I think when he was trying to pick, commissioners and all that, I think he opened a portal. You have to come in, you have to put in, register, put in your qualifications and for any position you want. To be honest, I don't know how how they were chosen or how they were selected, if actually it was through that portal that they were selected. But I think that particular act is like a one step. It's actually going to, if they are doing it that way, then we have to make sure that it's an honest selection committee Do you understand? A selection committee that can help, maybe, okay, from people that applied, or this person fits better in this particular position, this one fits better, this one fits better. And then you can start with their applications and qualifications. I think that's the way we can stop all the whole favoritism and all that. If we can open a level playing ground for everybody, come and apply.
With the ICT?
Yes, yes, with the ICT. Just
Everything can be tampered with.
but we can, at least you can start somewhere.
Yes,
We can
yes.
start somewhere. So at least there is no, we have to try what we are doing. Let's look at the current people that are current commissioners and all that. They are doing well. They are doing well. I believe maybe, to my own knowledge, they're actually doing well. Come to the transport, come to women affairs, come to education. They're actually doing well. And if they were actually selected through that portal stuff and all that, that means the people that did the selection were quite good and they were being honest. So I feel like your qualifications should come first before your connection also in terms of leadership. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, I don't know. When we talk about what you do in in NGO, could you tell us some of the projects you handle at the present, you know, to make sure that you equip the youth to be good leaders of tomorrow?
Yeah, Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative is known to, in fact, we are currently working with European Union, so on a project, and this particular project is tagged Youth Golf Tracker. So we are currently on a mission to track the government, to track the government anyway. So the tracking here now is not, let's say, to monitor and badmouth the governor or the current government. No, we are just there to checkmate. You understand? Checkmate. And then our mission is also to empower and enlighten youth. Currently, there was a time we were told to get the budget allocation for 2024. So that budget, now what we did with it was, we came down to the one allocated for youth empowerment. Oh, this particular amount of money was for youth. We had to go back to the youth, or maybe me that's working in Anambra State now. I had to go back to the youth. I was like, okay, this is the particular amount that is meant for you people. This particular money is for this project. This particular money is for this project. This particular money is for this project. So, and not only this idea, we've also given funds for youth to do like a grassroots empowerment for youth. Not only grassroots empowerment, even the European Union we're working for, they've also empowered youth, like through us, they've also empowered youth to bring up ideas, innovative ideas that can also help ourselves. We can also use to help ourselves in our communities. So I can say Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative is actually doing so well. They're actually doing good in terms of empowering youth in governance, in leadership. Yeah. So
you are in Anambra State?
I'm the one in charge. We have focal points in 36 states. So as I'm working in Anambra, there's another focal point working in Jigawa. There's another focal point working in Duse. So if you can, yes, even in Delta, you can check us on IG, Twitter, Facebook, just Youth Golf Tracker. So we have a page for this particular project we are on, Youth Golf Tracker. And we're also the ones that we like to innovated this fact checker, AI fact checker. So we are doing so well. I would say I'm so proud of this organization. We are doing so well in terms of youth.
You'll be proud because it's your organization.
We are doing so well.
Until we see what you're doing. Actually, at least it's left for us to speak.
Yeah.
How far you have gone. Okay, in case you're just joining us, you're watching Good Morning Anambra Show on ABS television this beautiful Monday morning, and we are with youths in the studio talking future leaders, the youths in governance, getting them involved. And we're grateful to the present administration in the state, for getting them closer with some projects here and there to ensure that they fit into what is actually happening. And we hope that more could be done, at least until we see a youth of 40 years or 35 years becoming a governor or president in this country. We'll get to that place. All right, let's take a short break here. Let's feel the pulse of the masses who will return to continue from where we are stopped.
Youth can join political processes in Nigeria through active participation. By this I mean, what you are doing today is grassroots politics. Okay? So they go to their villages. First of all, they know the wards they belong to. Then they get registered with their ward chairman. When they get registered, then they have to bring a voter's card. Now, that person will get himself registered and then be ready to attend meetings. Learn from the people who are already there. So, by this way, they will get involved and more active.
One, that fellow must be educated and get interest in politics and probably read political science or something like that. Then it is a different opinion. If you like politics, like myself, I don't like politics. So somebody that likes politics can go into it.
I got join politics. Then number one, in political science, I gonna relate to society, social places, social gathering. From there, they can join one party or the other, so that they can fit in and be able to measure up.
Youths that want to get involved in political process, you first go to school. After school, they will know what politics is all about. If they have another work, I advise them to do that work instead of joining politics. Your politics at our own time, politics at our own place, it's not the right politics. But after all is said and done, and they still want to join, then they should join the political party. From the party, they know the rules of the party. They go through registration, become members of the party. From there, they go on.
The first of them all is having a PVC to be able to vote and decide who you want as a youth to govern over the affairs of the nation. That is the first thing, the first direction in the right way, or the right way in the right direction, or whichever. And also, it is high time that you get fully involved in leadership. You know, over the time we feel that it is meant for the old and the aged and all. So it is time that the youths feel, because they are vibrant, they understand what is going on around them and all that. They should be the first partakers, leading themselves. Leadership position is beckoning on the youth.
They can help in security. As a matter of fact, because security is a collective responsibility. If you see anything that happens in the society, you can actually notify either one of the security agencies. You understand? You can place a call in order to show effective governance. That is one. Then secondly, there are trainings the youth can engage on. Maybe if you are good on anything, as a matter of fact, maybe you are good in ICT, you can help teach others. You understand? Then, if you are also a lecturer, you can also teach. You understand? You can teach others. There are many things youth can do in order to help the government.
All right, welcome back to the live studios of Good Morning Anambra, where we are looking at future leaders, the youth in governance, with Chisom Augusta Ukoha and Ifunanya Jessica Okoye in the studio this morning. Now, we've gone to the field to feel the pulse of the masses, and of course, you heard what they said. They talked about how best to get these youths involved. If now you heard some of the things they said, could you quickly react to them before we move on?
Most of the things they said are actually true, because as a youth who wants to get involved with the systematic leadership in a nation, in a country, in a state, you have to, first of all, get in touch with the grassroots politics. Make people know you. You don't wake up from anywhere and then you feel you can be giving appointments without people knowing you, speaking for you, that, okay, this person has actually handled this position, this person has actually done so well. So you have to, just like some of them said, you have to get involved. Make yourself available. Register with a particular political party, because this is politics now. Now, register with a particular political party, and then attend their meetings, because that's the best way you can know how these things work. You don't just sit on the fence and expect to, okay, Akuga works like this, PDP works like this. No, you have to get involved and join a particular political party which or whose mission or vision aligns best with yours. I don't know if you get. So when you join these people, you attend meetings regularly, they bring out projects, you join them and then help out with the projects, the mobilization of your fellow youths for the project. You see that by the time you show yourself, they will be like, okay, fine, this person actually has some potentials. Let's fix him or her in. Now, I could remember during the last governorship election, Dr. Nelson, he played a very big role. So I was not even surprised that he was actually appointed. He played a very big role to the success of the election of the government because he mobilized a lot of youth. I think then I was the student union government vice president, and we were also reached out to. We helped mobilize students with voters card and then helped to shun voter apathy. So he actually played. You don't just sit on the fence and expect, okay, fine, a new government is in power and then they are looking for youth. In as much as you have those hidden potentials in you, but you don't just sit down and then allow them to die. You move, you do something. Just like they've said, you get yourself involved. You don't just sit on the fence. So you have to get yourself involved, attend the meetings, join them and help out in carrying projects. If they need someone to send, you attend. Although, to some extent, after some of the things that actually demoralize the youth is that most times when you are done with these things, you find out that even the least position maybe you are hoping for or you are aiming for in the political party, you don't finally get it. They give it to an older person instead of you that has actually worked for it. But I don't know, I believe that our political parties leaders should be able to do well, just like the current APGA chairman. I believe he's a youth and I know he's going to do well. I don't know the chairmen of other political parties.
Do well or look in the youth direction.
That's why I said do well. Look into the youth direction and then sieve out those who have this potential. Not those who sit on the fence, but those who actually come out to show you that, okay, fine, I can do this and I have the passion. Because it takes passion to do that. Because if you don't pay you, it's a political party, you're not being paid. So it takes passion to actually drive you out. Okay, fine, I can do this, I can help out in this particular area, then you come out and work and you are being seen without allowing your potentials to die.
All right, so I don't know, these youths, when we talk about empowering them, or maybe we have a seminar to train them on one thing or the other, how do you actually go about getting them?
Okay, every empowerment has a targeted youth. Okay, maybe if you want to empower or maybe youth in rural communities, when you come to a community, first you have to meet the stakeholders in that community. You meet the traditional rulers or maybe the cabinet members, and then they give you permission to meet the youth leader. Then when you now meet the youth leader, or you tell him or her this is my plan, this is what I've come to do, and maybe they may tell you, okay, you can go and come back, so they will gather the youth for you. The way it's best you speak to the youth yourself, because if you tell the youth leader, go and talk to them, see what you tell them, he may not really give them. So they may tell you may tell him, okay, when will you be able to gather this youth? So when they now gather them, you may be able to say, okay, this is what is going on. This is what is going on, and this is how we want to help the youth. This is how we want to empower the youth, and we want so and so amount of persons or something like that. They may go, okay, oh yeah, these people are qualified. Or if you need a particular amount, they can give you this. If you want everybody, these are ways you can be able to mobilize the youth. If you want to come to maybe school, university, tertiary institution, you go through the student government. Or I want to do this and this for the youth. I want to do this and this for the youth. So to me, it's actually not hard. You just meet the right persons and
because you're used to it.
Yeah, they just bring the youth for you.
Okay, now if I don't know, in everything there must be challenges. What are some of the challenges you guys face in the field of working with the youths and getting them involved? We know some of these youths have really gone into some things, that are not really good to mention, because no parent will be glad to see that the child is not doing well or in the other way side. So what are some of these challenges you face in getting them involved?
Well, there are a whole lot of challenges. There are a whole lot of challenges in getting these youths together or to pass our information. Now, first of all, is that you find out that some of them will be like, we need money, we get rich quick syndrome. We need money and not this thing you're talking about. So whether we are doing well but actually those that have gone there, what have they done for us? That we need money. So
Exactly.
first of all, we need to try and get off this get rich quick syndrome from our youth. That is the first and major challenge we have. You find out you're coming to person, telling the person, okay, fine, I want to empower you. I want to teach you, just like the governor did when he came into power. He was like, anybody who knows he has been living a particular kind of life, that he should hands off and then come, that the state government is going to give it. In as much as he made that opportunity open for everybody. But you and I know that currently the state is still facing some atom of insecurity. And this is a challenge, because most of them will be like, oh, how much do they want to give me that I cannot make under how many hours or under? So this particular one is a very big issue facing us. And I think that to every youth out there who is listening to me, I'm not saying we shouldn't make money. You get, we are in a dilapidated country. I didn't say you should not make money, but then we shouldn't do it at the expense of our lives, at the expense of our future, because we youths are the future of the country. So to some extent, I believe that we should try as much as possible to get empowered, in as much as the country is not helping, but get something doing. I mean, start from there, it's something, so that it can help us in mobilizing these youths. Because when a youth doesn't have what he or she is doing, find out that when you come and tell this person, okay, I want to empower you, the person will first of all weigh the amount of money that will come out from it and tell you, please, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. And it's a very big challenge on our own part. So I think
all right, so you have something to add in your own area, the challenges you face, because you people go to the field.
Yeah.
And you see all these things yourself. So tell us.
I actually would say that one of the first challenge I used to face, because we're talking about field, there are people you have to meet in the field first, is the stakeholders. Most of the stakeholders are quite not interested in whatever you want to bring if it's not benefiting them. Yeah. So I'll leave out the part of me being a woman in this field. Yeah, it's quite challenging. So most of these youth, these stakeholders are not interested. So whenever you bring a project for the youth, they will be like, what do I gain from it? What do I gain from it? And it's not a good thing. You say that they don't have the passion to help those coming after them. So that is one thing. And the other thing is, like she said, the youth themselves. The youth themselves should be able to help themselves too. You understand? This is something we are bringing up to help you. Should be able to at least show some positive response to it. Okay, this is something I want. This is something I want to do. I don't know, but when I was coming up, I didn't get to see this much opportunities like I'm seeing currently. I used to go on net, save out opportunities, free scholarships, everything. I'm currently taking a course on cybersecurity, and I saved out the scholarship myself. But most times, you now see us, when we've now gotten the knowledge, we now bring it free of charge to this youth, and you see them, their interest first. Maybe you want to teach them cybersecurity or another. Their interest first is laptop. They're not interested in learning it. They want that laptop. They want the phone which is to an extent not good. So we need to empower ourselves as youth, be ready for change and be change agents ourselves. Yeah.
All right, now the way forward, looking at these challenges, what do you think could be done to really get them, see them being enticed and wanting to be part of what is going on in the society?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank our ever-working governor, because to be honest with you, to some extent, I already lost hope that there would be a day that when youths will come into power or appointments. I already lost hope when I was growing up. But I mean, seeing people who are already there, who are youths, I mean, I'm being motivated to do more. I'm like, okay, fine. So if I actually work hard and then empower myself, make myself shown to the people that I have this potential in me, I could actually get seen, and then one day I'll be appointed, even not just in the States, but in the nation. So I think this is one of the biggest motivation, trying out these youths first, putting them, so that others who are coming behind could know that, okay, fine, something like this actually exists. And if you work hard, and not just the other way, but if you work hard and then show these potentials to people, to your community, that you can actually one day, however, whichever way, you can actually be appointed and then given this opportunity to also serve. Now, secondly, the way forward, just like I would always advise, we should be the change agents. We should be the change we want to see. You cannot be serving at the ordinary student union government level and then you are not making that position.
Yeah.
You're not making it worth it for other people to actually wake up and be like, okay, fine, this person actually served in student union government and I can do that. Actually, I took over from her, and it was because of the way she actually positioned the office, like made it seem more, like made it look like there was actually more to this office. When I was like, okay, fine, I can actually do better than this person. These things are entitled, we are youths, and most times we move with peer pressure. So, but if those who are at the top as youths are not doing well, you find out that those who are coming after them are not definitely going to do well. I took over from her, and then somebody actually replaced me. I don't know if we get. So, if we don't make these positions, if we don't make them as little as they are, think big, and then think like with hard work, as long as you are doing well, you can get there. You find out that most of these people will turn to touts. In fact, they will use them and then go and be snatching ballot papers during the election period. And they will feel like, okay, fine, these are all the youths can do and they can be useful. But if we who are actually there, if we can be able to do well and then set a pace for others to follow, we find out that it actually entices them. It's actually because we don't sit down and expect the older ones who are there to actually, okay, let us give this. No, because they're already recycling themselves and then their family members and the rest of them. But you find out that if a particular youth decides to stand out, there is no way, just like the NSAS, if a particular youth decides to stand out, there is no way we don't have revolution in the country.
Exactly.
As long as there is somebody who has built his or herself to be actually what these people are looking for, or to be actually what is what's doing well. I mean, the other youths would wake up.
They will follow suit.
They will follow suit. Just like we've had a youth as a governor. You don't tell me that if this governor is leaving after 8 years, that we the youths who want to sit back and then re-elect an old person. No, we cannot, because he has done well. So for us to re-elect him again, or to re-elect someone else coming after him, it mustn't be an old person. It starts that way because he has actually done well. He has proven that, okay, the youths are worth more than just being treated anyhow. And you see, the ordinary tout who is in the street will talk to himself. The ordinary woman who decides to maybe use her body for anything will talk to herself. If this person can actually become this, I can do more. So you see, these things are actually the way forward. It will help us. We don't just sit down and expect them to. There are a lot of policies already in Nigerian government, in state government, but who are looking for the Messiah, who are we going to send? And if we don't get that person, you find out that all these things we're talking about is nothing. So we as the youth should first of all build ourselves. We should, whatever position, whether in school, in church, in political parties, we should build ourselves to set a good example.
All right, now, so there are more things you want to say about the way forward?
Yeah, the way forward is she talked to the youth, right? I'm actually going to talk to NGOs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say that NGOs should do better, right? They should do just better than taking money from donors and not doing anything, right? So NGOs that are particularly there for the youth, they should do better. They should know, they should strategize. That you face a block road here does not mean that it's the same thing every other place. Even if you don't get it this way, there are other strategies you have to follow. There are other ways you have to follow. So NGOs themselves should be able to educate themselves. Yeah, maybe if you want to work in a community, you should be able to educate yourself about that community and know the best and proper way to approach them. Let's say, for instance, people that my counterpart are working in the north. Let me use the word, maybe in terms of gender equalities and all that. You know, they don't really like the sound of that. So when they go to those communities, they don't just come and tell them, we are here to do gender equality, we are here to empower, we are here to teach your women to stand up for her rights. They will see it as though you are coming to tell their women to disrespect them. But if you come on a more polite way, oh, okay, we want to help your women, we want to give them this, we want to empower them to be maybe nurses, doctors, teachers in the future. You see them mellow down a bit and then give you more listening ears. These are proper ways I feel NGOs should educate themselves on policies, acts, laws that helps the youth. Most of these NGOs that are working for the youth don't know anything about laws, about, let me use the word youth laws that support you, that empower the youth, that make sure that youth's rights are protected. So, we now come to a state and then those particular laws are not domesticated. I feel like the first thing you have to do is, let's try and know how we can domesticate this particular law in this state so that when we are fighting, we know, okay, we have a place to fall back to. So that is my own addition. NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and even governmental organizations should be able to educate themselves more. Because when you now bring in those youth, you are the ones they are looking at, you are the ones they are looking up to. And if you don't have anything
to offer them,
it's messed up.
All right, now, having said all this and looking forward to a brighter future for our nation with our youths piloting their affairs, where do you think we see ourselves in the next 5-10 years when these youths are properly channeled, properly harnessed into what they ought to do?
Well, in the next 5-10 years, let's just give it more than that because of our country. But I know in our state, by God's grace, we are going to achieve a whole lot in the aspect of bringing in the youth into governance. But in the country, it's going to take a whole lot of time. Because in as much as these laws are there, but you find out that it's difficult to implement. Now, take a proper overview at the ministers who are appointed in our country. You can hardly, you see that the number of youths there, it's very low and it's very encouraging. It's very, very low and it's very encouraging. Now, the average youth out there who is struggling and trying to, maintain a passion for leadership and the rest of them will be discouraged. So let's just give it more than 10 years for our country. It will give it more than 10 years, and by God's grace, with this advocacy.
But when states do play their part very well, don't you think it's choking the entire country?
Yes, it's going to choke the entire country. But then, just like I said, let's just be realistic. Let's give it more than 10 years. Because, for instance, Anambra has started. I think Ekiti too is doing well in terms of youth inclusion in governance, because their current SSA to the governor on students' affairs was a past NFSAM president. And I mean, it's a welcome development. Same with Edo State. Their current SSA to the governor on students' affairs too is a youth, past vice president at campus affairs. And these people are young and vibrant. So I believe that when the state actually decides to look the youth's way, decides to include these youth in governance, it's actually going to choke the nation. So by God's grace, that was I always use by God's grace. If our states can actually do well, it's definitely going to affect the country.
That means you keep working and keep alive. All right, so finally before we go.
Yeah, I just feel like, just like she said, when the state is working, this one is working, this one is working, the time will come where all those youth empowered in those states
because
it's
the states that make up the country.
Yes, it's the state that make up the country, yeah. So when this particular one is working, this one is empowering youth, another one is empowering youth, you now see them. And when all these youths that are empowered come together, you will see that they make up the larger number than even the old people there. Yes. So and then when they now maybe let's say when they start contesting for election, you now see that even their opponents are still youth. You will not even see old people there. That is the need to empower youth. So when the time comes, you will not see them. They will not be the ones contesting. They will not be the ones running for the whole leadership position.
All right. We'd like to appreciate you so much. Chisom Augusta Ukoha, the Youth Focal Point, Anambra State Brain Builders Youth Development Initiative. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, ma'am.
And to you, Ifunanya, the Social Justice Advocate, Jessica Okoye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, ma'am.
And that's just about it on the Morning Anambra show for today. We hope that tomorrow promises a better, better for our youth in Nigeria. And until tomorrow, my name is Nonye Wokoye. Say goodbye from here.